Hello students, welcome back to our quick revision program. As you all know, in 6 lectures, we have already completed thoroughly the quick revision session for physics. We have already taken the revision of chapter number 10, 11, 12 and 13. Now, from today's lecture, we are starting quick revision program, particularly for chemistry, which is also one of the largest section of your science portion. It includes chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Understand? So this is one of the larger section. Now, dear student, in today's lecture, we are going to start and will complete also the quick revision for chapter number 1. Now, many students are coming here in offline lecture. You people who are not coming at school are attending at home. Be very sure. In quick revision program, suppose in today's lecture, the chapter number 1, as a student, if you decide to revise chapter number 1 thoroughly and keeping in mind those topics which the board has excluded. Board has already excluded two topics. One, that is double displacement reaction, which is already excluded, and another topic which is excluded is effect of redox, means oxidation and reduction reaction in daily life. That means you topic of rancidity and topic of corrosion, those two topics are also eliminated. So rest of the topic needs to be your target. Okay, now dear student, as we are taking the quick revision of chapter number 1, okay, chemical reactions and equations. In quick revision lecture today, lecture I am not mentioning name, I am just writing QA, means we are going to complete the total revision of this chapter in today's lecture only. Okay, chemical reactions and equation. Let us first list out those topics which is in fact a part of your syllabus this time. So first, dear student, the topic list, if included topic list, if we start making, okay, the board has declared that student needs to learn in detail about chemical equation. Then second topic, student needs to learn about various types of chemical reaction. That's the next topic. Okay, chemical equation and various types of chemical reactions. Understand these two topic as it is a part of our included topic in that, and they have written displacement reaction, but that we all know that we will revise that in types of chemical reaction. Understand? So in fact, if you consider displacement, redox reaction, all will be under type 2. Understand? Topic number 2, types of chemical reaction. Now, dear student, if you want to revise this particular chapter, understand, the first you need to target is chemical equation. As you know, here also one topic, that is balancing of chemical equation, that is also there. Balancing of chemical equation. Okay. Now, to be more precise, if you start revising topic number 1, that is, we will take as a whole total detail about chemical equation. What is actually chemical equation? You all know very well that chemical equation, understood, is a very short, precise, accurate way of expressing any chemical reaction, understand, in abbreviated form by utilizing symbols and molecular formulas. Understand? Suppose in textbook they have given any activity you can take, that when ribbon of magnesium is burnt, it reacts with the atmospheric oxygen and produces magnesium oxide. Okay, that is chemical reaction which we are discussing. When ribbon of magnesium is burnt, it burns with dazzling flame, react with atmospheric oxygen and form magnesium oxide. Understand? The same chemical reaction I can write in short. Understand? Suppose I can write this way first: magnesium plus oxygen, that's equal to magnesium oxide. When there I have spoken, when ribbon of magnesium is burnt, it immediately reacts and combines with atmospheric oxygen and form magnesium oxide. Here I have written it in short: magnesium plus oxygen give magnesium oxide. You all know, when you express any chemical reaction in word form, that is known as you know, word equation. This is called word equation. Similar word equation can be expressed with the help of symbols and formula. Suppose for magnesium the symbol is Mg, for oxygen the symbol is O2, and for magnesium oxide it is MgO. When this word equation is expressed by utilizing symbols and molecular formula, you all know this is called skeletal chemical equation. This is called skeletal chemical equation. Understand? And now, dear student, if you want to just write some features of writing a chemical equation, so as you know, reactants are always written on the left hand side and product is always written on the right hand side. Understand? Between reactant and product we are showing the arrow, and arrowhead which is pointing rightward is actually showing the direction of flow of chemical reaction. Understand? At the same time, we can also show the state of the reactant and product. Suppose magnesium ribbon solid in state, oxygen gaseous, magnesium oxide solid. And now, as you all know, when you try to balance this, it is known as balanced chemical equation. Okay. Now this is called balanced chemical equation. Try to understand. We are just discussing chemical equation as general. Okay. So what is chemical equation? a chemical equation is a short, concise, appropriate way of just expressing any chemical reaction. Chemical equation can be written in word form, then we call it a word equation. It can also be written in the form of symbols and formula. We call it skeletal chemical equation. When you try to balance, it is called balanced chemical equation. Understand? Reactant written on the left hand side, product on the right hand side. Reactant are separated by plus sign. Even in product also, if there are two or more products, they are separated by plus sign. Arrowhead between reactant and product will show the direction of the flow of the chemical reaction. Okay. Now, why? We discuss one another important question with this. Why balancing a chemical equation is compulsory? So, this is like if you do not balance the chemical equation, then you are already contradicting the law of conservation of moment, law of conservation of mass, which says that total mass of the reactant must equal to the total mass of the product, and that can be ensured only when the total number of atoms of each element in reactant and total number of atoms of each element in product becomes equal. So when actually you are trying to balance the chemical equation, what you are doing, you are just by utilizing some prefix numerals without altering the formula of the compound, you are trying to equalize the number of atoms of each element on both the side, LHS, RHS, reactants and product. And in doing that, you are actually trying to maintain the law of conservation of mass, which says that mass can neither be destroyed nor created. Understand? So total mass remains constant be, before the reaction and after the reaction. Total mass of reactant must be equalized with the total mass of product, and that's why to just maintain, understand the law of conservation of mass, equation needs to be balanced. That is actually the purpose of balancing any chemical equation. Okay. Now when we are discussing about chemical equation, you also know one thing: what happens during any chemical reaction. The few changes takes place during any chemical reaction, as you all know very well. First change, color of the substance may change. There will be change in the state of the substance. Okay. There will be change in the color, state, temperature, and even evolution of gas can also take place during any chemical reaction. Again can be asked in 2 mark. Which changes are observed during chemical reaction? So during any chemical reaction, 4 changes can be observed: either the change in color, change in state, change in temperature, evolution of gas. What is this equation is about? It is showing not only the change of state but also the change of color, because magnesium ribbon, you all know, it is silvery white. Understand? Right? And it is solid, oxygen gas, colorless and in gaseous form. When it forms magnesium oxide, it is white is powder. Understand? That means what? And it is in solid state. Now oxygen when combined with magnesium, it became a solid. Okay? That means this particular equation can be called that during this chemical reaction we can see the change in color, change in state also. Understand? Change in temperature and evolution of gas. One another activity has been mentioned in your textbook, like in one experiment what they are taking. In fact, there are two experiments which can show the change in temperature, understand, an evolution of gas. Suppose zinc powder, okay, zinc granules, when combined with hydrochloric acid, okay, mostly in aqueous form you should take. Otherwise, the concentrated HCl may be little dangerous. Okay, so zinc granules, when react with hydrochloric acid, it forms zinc chloride. Okay, not only it forms zinc chloride, but at the same time it also produces hydrogen gas. So this is the best example of evolution of gas. Not only that, this reaction, when zinc reacts with either hydrochloric acid, or I can take H2SO4 also, understand, sulfuric acid, the same reaction will take place. Zinc sulfate is formed and hydrogen gas is released. In both the reaction, not only you will see the production, means the evolution of gas, but also the change in temperature, because it is one type of exothermic chemical reaction where lots of heat energy evolves during this chemical reaction. Understand? So this can be also said as one of the chemical reactions showing these two type of changes. Temperature rises, understand, along with the evolution of gas. This is also mentioned in textbook. I think activity number doesn't matter for us. Just you need to remember that this experiment is performed in glass flask, where you take zinc granules and add slowly dilute HCl or dilute H2SO4. Dilute means just for the safety, understand? And they react with each other and produces hydrogen gas. And the flask also get heated if you touch flask the bottom, because during this chemical reaction lots of heat energy is also produced. Understand? So during any chemical reaction, this is going to happen, that color changes, state changes, temperature also rises, sometimes temperature decreases also. Understand? Depending on which type of chemical reaction it is, it either exothermic chemical reaction or endothermic chemical reaction. Understand? Now dear student, uh, after you study this detail about chemical equation, understand, now if we go for uh, this is clear. If you just want to have a quick revision of chemical equation, you need to keep all these things in mind, okay, just to make it more accurate. What is chemical equation? A short, concise, abbreviated, proper way of expressing any chemical reaction is known as chemical equation. When you express any chemical equation in word, it is known as word equation. When any word equation is expressed in the form of symbols and formulas, it is known as skeletal chemical equation. Then the time comes to balance the particular chemical equation. And why balancing is necessary? Balancing ensures that during the chemical reaction the law of conservation of mass has been followed, means observed, that the total mass of reactant and the total mass of product remains the same. Understand? And why balancing is required? That is to ensure only that during this chemical reaction the law of conservation of mass has been followed. Understand? And then, as you know, this example also one of the example to ascertain that during chemical reaction color changes, state changes, temperature also rises or means increases or decreases, and evolution of gas also take place. Understand? So this is some particular discussion about chemical equation. Okay, reactants are written on left hand side, products are written on right hand side. Okay, then the arrowhead between them is showing the flow the direction of the chemical reaction which is taking place. Okay. Now dear student, one more thing. Board has excluded double displacement reaction. Actually, most of the double displacement reaction are ultimately precipitation reactions. Understand? So that we will take and we will cover in this types of chemical reaction. Okay. So first let us target types of chemical reaction. Understood? The topic 2 if we want to target, that is types of chemical reactions. Okay. If we target this topic, types of chemical reactions, very easy because lots of examples we have also discussed in our regular lectures. Types of chemical reaction. Suppose if we take the first one, that you can call combination reaction. Okay, combination reaction. What happens in combination reaction? You all know, and you do not have to just remember that way. You can produce the same example or some more example also. Suppose C plus O2 gives CO2. Okay, 2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. Understand? To mention one more, CaO plus H2O, okay, gives CaOH twice. Understand? These are all chemical reactions only, right? See, this is solid, this is gaseous, this is gaseous, this is gaseous, gaseous, this is liquid. Understand? Calcium oxide. Understood? This is liquid calcium oxide, that is solid, and a CaOH2, that is again an aqueous mixture. Try to understand what happens in combination reaction. So either two elements combine and form a new compound, or two compounds chemically react and form a new compound. That means one thing is generalized, that when in a chemical reaction either two elements or element and compound or two compound chemically react with each other and forms a new compound. To be more precise, when two substance react with each other chemically and they form a new substance, that is known as combination reaction. To mention, lots of example are already available here for combination reaction. Suppose you want to define another one, that is we take decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction. So dear student, actually three types of decomposition reaction we have studied. In decomposition reaction, what is happening? Any compound breaks to form a smaller compounds. Understand? That is known as decomposition reaction. Now this decomposition can take place with the help of either heat energy or with the help of electric energy, as you know, or sometime also with the help of light energy. Decomposition reaction can take place with the aid of heat energy, electric energy or light energy. You have already studied the very some of the chemical reaction, like suppose heat energy. So for to mention here, we have mentioned suppose calcium carbonate in solid form. When calcium carbonate is heated, it decomposes into calcium oxide as well as carbon dioxide. What is this? It is one type of decomposition reaction where you already have utilized heat energy, understand, to realize this chemical reaction. So it is definitely a decomposition reaction, but I can call it thermal decomposition reaction because we utilize heat energy, understand. Yeah, right. Some other example are also there. uh, this is one example, and one another is also, you in exam you need to mention one equation is sufficient, but suppose one another activity, you take the lead nitrate powder, okay, in China, this whatever, for heating purpose. Now this lead nitrate powder, if you start heating, again the decomposition reaction take place and it form lead oxide plus nitrogen oxide plus oxygen, understand. To balance, uh, let us start 3 to the 6 oxygen, 2 plus 2 4, let me write here 2. So to maintain this I also have to write 2 here, okay. And here I will write, see, 2 Pb, okay. Now 2 nitrogen, so I have to write 2 here. So this way the equation is getting balanced, okay. Just a minute, 4 here, 2 to the 4. Yes, 2 to the 4. Now what happened? Okay, lead oxide is formed, this gas is formed, this gas. This is also one of the examples for thermal decomposition reaction, where when lead nitrate powder is taken, understand, in boiling tube you take, or whatever apparatus you can take, understand, even China dish also, and you start heating it, so within a short time you will see the brown fumes, okay. And these brown fumes which arises, that is of nitrogen oxide. So this can also be mentioned, understand, as a thermal decomposition reaction. One another reaction is also there in textbook, that is heating ferrous sulfate. When ferrous sulfate is heated, understand, it forms ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, understand. That you can also mention in thermal decomposition reaction. At least suppose in exam they ask to just write two reactions, understand. So you can write this and this one, that reaction of ferrous sulfate when heated decomposed to ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, that also you can mention. So this is thermal decomposition reaction, okay. Suppose one activity, as you all know, with the help of electricity also, the decomposition reaction can become possible, where in activity format we have shown the total experiment of electrolysis of water. As you must be knowing that you are taking one plastic mug, understand, you must be remembering this. One plastic mug, two holes are done at the bottom and rubber stopper are inserted there. And in this rubber stopper, two graphite rods, means as an electrode, are inserted. You have to remember this: a plastic mug is taken, two holes are made at the bottom and two rubber stoppers are inserted in it to facilitate the inserting of graphite rod or carbonate rod. Then this mug is filled with water so that electron gets submerged in it, okay. It is connected with a 6-volt battery, as you all know, okay. 6-volt battery, this is positive, this is negative, so this became positive and this is negative. Two test tubes are also taken, and to complete the circuit, because current will flow from here to this electrode, then this is the medium. So to make this medium more acidified, you have to add some H2SO4. Why? So that the acidic water will be a good conductor of electricity, okay. Now you are taking two test tubes, as you all know. Both the test tubes, suppose I call it test tube A, test tube B, are filled with water and they are inserted, understand, or immediately on the electrodes. Some water may escape out of this, but they are inserted. Now the moment electricity is passed, what is going to happen? When electricity passes through water, it will decompose into hydrogen and oxygen gas with the help of electricity. 2H2 plus O2, both are gas, and this is water. So what happened? Hydrogen and oxygen gas are evolved. As you all know, oxygen gas will evolve at anode and hydrogen gas will evolve at cathode. Understand? When both gases start collecting in the test tube, the water level comes down. Understood? So this way oxygen and hydrogen gas are produced. You all know more hydrogen gas is produced than oxygen, means the gas which is collecting at a cathode is more than the gas which is collected at anode, because more hydrogen gas is produced than oxygen. In fact, the mass ratio of production of hydrogen to oxygen is 2:1. Means when one water molecule decompose, it will form two molecules of hydrogen and one molecules of oxygen. Understand? This way, this can also be called electrolysis, or it can also be called electric decomposition reaction. Some reaction also occurs with the help of light energy, as you all know. Silver chloride. Suppose you take in some China dish, you take silver chloride, okay, AgCl, actually which is white in color. Now this silver chloride, understand, when kept open so that the sunlight is incident on it, within a short time the color becomes grayish. Why? Because it got decomposed and formed Ag plus Cl to understand, to balance, right, 2 here. Silver is grayish in color, so change of color take place. So that can be called that can be called photochemical decomposition reaction. Same reaction is used in photography. As you know, on photographic plate, a layer of silver bromide AgBr is there. When light is incident on it, artificial light, what happens? That silver bromide get decomposed into silver and bromide, and that silver is brownish in color, grayish in color. So immediately you will see the impression on the photographic plate, which is going to help in development of photograph. So decomposition reaction can take place either with the help of heat energy, electric energy, or light energy as well. So that we studied decomposition reaction. Okay, at least two examples of each reaction you need to remember. Okay, so we discussed about decomposition reaction. Suppose we target the third one. Understand, as I told you, combination reaction, decomposition reaction we have studied, and I must mention one very important thing, the precipitation reaction. Okay, precipitation reaction. You all know very well what is the meaning of precipitation reaction. When aqueous solution of any two compound chemically react with each other. Aqueous solution, understand, react with each other. Actually, it is mentioned in the start also. Okay, when chemical reaction take place between aqueous solution of any two compound, it forms two another compound. One compound in aqueous solution and one compound of minute precipitate, minute particle. Suppose one reaction is already been given in textbook also. Suppose lead nitrate, PbNO3 twice. Lead nitrate, the aqueous solution, okay. When lead nitrate combines with potassium iodide, understand, which is also aqueous. When aqueous solution of two chemical compound chemically react with each other, here lead nitrate as well as potassium iodide both are colorless. This can also be asked in MCQ. This is also colorless. This is also colorless. Okay. When reaction take place between lead nitrate and potassium iodide, understand, they form lead iodide, that is PbI2 and KNO3. Okay. This is in solid form. This is again in aqueous form. Understood? Balancing, so accordingly you can do it, right? Here too the equation is getting balanced. This is aqueous solution in liquid form, but lead iodide precipitate tiny white particle are of yellow color. So this is one of the example of precipitation reaction that also you can mention. Understand? Now the fourth type of reaction, if you want to study combination reaction, decomposition reaction, precipitation reaction, and suppose we want to study displacement reaction, you do not have to study double displacement reaction, but you can study displacement reaction. Okay, let us erase this. To study displacement reaction. Okay, let me write it here. Fourth type we are taking. Okay, fourth type, that is displacement reaction. In textbook it has been given in the form of activity. Here we are just expressing the same way in short. Understand what is actually displacement reaction? So as you all know, displacement reaction take place only when you are reacting one metallic compound with another more reactive metal. Suppose I take copper sulfate. Copper sulfate, suppose in aqueous solution. Copper sulfate, as you know, blue colored solution. In that if I keep iron rod, okay, iron, as you all know, more reactive than copper. So when reaction take place between iron and copper sulfate solution, what is going to happen? Within a short time, the iron rod, which is blackish in color, copper sulfate, which is bluish in color, when the reaction take place between these two, the blue color of the copper sulfate fades, and it turns greenish in color because of the formation of ferrous sulfate. Understand it? This is greenish in color. So blue colored copper sulfate solution slowly turns greenish, means the blue color fades and green color is formed. At the same time, the iron rod actually turns brownish reddish due to the deposition of copper metal on iron rod. You understood this? So this can be called monodisplacement or single displacement reaction. How can you remember? More reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from its compound. This is known as single displacement or monodisplacement reaction. Okay, to mention the fifth one, which you call redox reaction. Understand, that is redox reaction. Redox reaction, when we discuss, understand, that means oxidation and reduction reaction are taking place simultaneously. to mention one example. Suppose in textbook they have also mentioned that you take some copper powder, okay. Suppose you have taken some copper powder here. Now what happens when it is exposed to air? A black layered coating deposits on the copper powder. So actually what happened? Copper react with it with oxygen and form copper oxide. Understand? The layer of copper oxide deposits here, and this can be called an oxidation reaction, as you all know. This is oxidation reaction. Again, what happens? This is copper, but on copper there is a layer of copper oxide. Now when it is exposed to hydrogen, understand what happens? Again the copper oxide react with hydrogen gas, understand, and this black lead coating again get removed and it turns brownish because from copper oxide hydrogen is removed, oxygen is removed, and it again turn into simple copper. Okay, so this can be called a reduction reaction. This is oxidation, this is reduction reaction. Understand, actually in this particular chemical reaction, both reactions are taking place simultaneously. Oxidation also take place, reduction also take place. From copper oxygen is removed, so you can see from here, from copper oxygen is removed and it is converted into copper. So because oxygen is removed, this is called reduction. Hydrogen got oxygen and hydrogen converts into H2O. So hydrogen is getting oxidized here. So this is oxidation, this is reduction. Both the reaction are taking place simultaneously. So you can call it redox reaction. In board exam, they are asking such question. Suppose the reaction is given and they ask you which substance is oxidized here and which substance is reduced here. The copper oxide is reduced and hydrogen is oxidized. In last board exam, they have given one such equation I am mentioning here. ZNO plus C gives Zn plus CO. This was the question asked in board exam. I have also mentioned in your material at the end of the chapter asked in board exam. What was the question? This reaction was given already. Zinc oxide plus uh, uh, carbon, okay, in solid form, and here solid and gas. Actually, they have, even in board exam, they haven't mentioned the states of the substance, but they have given such equation then, and the question which was asked is that in the given chemical reaction, which substance is getting oxidized and which substance is getting reduced. So here zinc oxide turns into zinc, means oxygen is removed. So you can mention your answer that in the given chemical reaction, zinc oxide is reduced and carbon got oxygen and converted into carbon oxide, and means carbon monoxide. That means carbon is getting oxidized, zinc oxide is getting reduced, and carbon is getting oxidized. This is one type of redox reaction. Understand, where oxidation and reduction reaction both are taking place simultaneously. Such question can be asked in board exam, so you have to be very conscious. Okay, so types of the chemical reaction we have completed. 5 types. First, combination. Second, decomposition. Third, displacement reaction. Fourth, fifth, redox reaction we discussed. Understand? So you have to remember all these reactions very well. We also discussed precipitation reaction, where lead nitrate react with potassium iodide to form yellow colored precipitate of lead iodide, and it also form aqueous solution of potassium nitrate. Okay, so 5 types of chemical reactions. Understood? And now the last topic, as you all know, understand, that is balancing a chemical equation. For balancing a chemical equation, dear students, some depends on your general knowledge also. You also need to practice it. But suppose in textbook they have given, and in board exam they can ask it in 4 marks also, that balance the following chemical equation by heat and trial method. As you all know, we have discussed. So third topic is actually balancing a chemical equation. We are discussing here balancing a chemical equation. Okay, we are just discussing and have a quick look at heat and trial method. As you all know, heat and trial method. Okay, let us try to understand by balancing one chemical equation, particularly if you can remember, Fe plus H2O forms Fe3O4 plus H2. Suppose this equation has been given to you in board exam, which you have to balance. Then which are the stages in heat and trial method? The first stage, once the equation come in front of you which you need to balance, what you have to do, I am not going to move step to step, but I am just giving you idea. Box all element and compound which are mentioned and understand in the given chemical equation. This is the first stage, suppose. Which is the second stage? Find the compound having highest number of atom. This is here Fe3O4, 3 plus 4, 7 atom. In that particular compound, try to balance the element having maximum number of atom. Iron has 3 atom, oxygen has 4 atom. So let us try to balance oxygen first. Here is only one oxygen in reactant. There are 4 oxygen, understand, in product. So what I will do, I will put 4 here, understand, and I will put 4 here to balance the chemical equation, because here are 4. Just a minute. Okay. Yes, 4 to balance it. Clear? So this is the second stage. What is the second stage? Find compound. You can write in your own word also. Find compound having maximum number of atoms. In that compound, find the element having maximum number of atom and try to balance it on the reactant side and product side. Means initially how many in reactant and product, and finally by multiplying how many in reactant and product. Okay. Now oxygen is balanced. 4 oxygen here, 4 oxygen. Now what you need to balance? Now you have to think of other 2 element, iron and hydrogen. Just this is the third stage. Now try to balance rest of the element. We have to balance iron and hydrogen. Let us target hydrogen. So on reactant side, 4 to the 8 hydrogen. On product side, there is only 2 hydrogen atom. To balance it, here you multiply 1 only, because there are 4 to 8 hydrogen, and here you put 4. Okay. So hydrogen is also getting balanced now. After balancing hydrogen, the fourth stage, try to balance iron. On left hand side in initial stage, there is only 1 iron atom, here 3 iron atom. So here multiply 1 and here multiply 3. The equation is totally balanced. In fourth stage, suppose in fifth stage, after the equation is getting balanced, just try to just count the number of atom of each element. Is it balanced? Yes. Then you just mention the state. Iron solid, water liquid. Understand? Ferric oxide, iron oxide, that is solid, and hydrogen, that is gas. Mention the state of the substance also, that this way the chemical reaction is getting balanced. Some necessary temperature condition, pressure condition, presence of catalyst, that can also be mentioned to balance any chemical equation. You understood this? So this way, three topics we have totally targeted. Understand? And dear student, when you start revising this particular chapter, you need to first list out these three topics: chemical equation, types of chemical reaction, and then balancing. In balancing, we have practiced a lots of chemical equation in regular lecture also. You have to do what thing? In exercise and in text, in our material also it is mentioned, all word equation which are given, understand, you should convert them into skeletal equation, and then you should try to balance them. Understand? So two topics, rancidity and corrosion, you do not have to do. Double displacement reaction you do not have to do, but the rest of the topic is a part of your revision. Okay? So this is clear in your mind. Heat and trial method. Okay? First stage, box sol element and formula of compound. Second, find compound having highest number of atom. In that, find the element having highest number of atom and try to balance it. Then you will, it has been written in material that element, understand, number of atom, initial and final. Accordingly, you are multiplying here 4 oxygen. So here 1 into 4, 1 you are multiplying, here 4 you are multiplying. After, then next stage, try to balance the hydrogen atom. Here in initial stage 8 hydrogen, here only 2 hydrogen. So multiply 1, here multiply 4. Try to balance the iron atom, here 3 iron atom, here 1. So here prefix 3 should be multiplied, here 1, and then mention the state of the substance which has taken part in chemical reaction and the product which are formed. Understood? So this is balancing of a chemical equation. Understand? Mostly heat and trial method is advisable and applicable for balancing any chemical reaction. Understand? You can try it out. Sometime occasionally it can happen also that heat and trial method may not be fair enough and applicable to some chemical equation also. But this is a general gesture that you can utilize heat and trial method. Okay. So dear student, in today's lecture we have revised chapter 1, chemical reactions and equation. With me also you should prepare and revise all topics. Okay, thank you very much.